So welcome back today. Yes, we're out at the Kings Mountain Military National Park. We're going to look at the Battle of Kings Mountain. This battle was a historical battle that actually changed the course of the American Revolutionary War. I'll get into more details about that. For right now, let's just get started and look around and see what's up here. I know that there's a couple of signs up here. I'm going to take some pictures of them. Hey, here's a couple of signs over here that talk about the park. I believe one of them's a map. I'll take some pictures of these. I'll put them up on there. But I don't know if you can see this map very clearly in the video. It's the information right here. There's about information about some snakes. It's a 1.5 mile trail. The trail is paved. Dogs are welcome. They have to be on a leash. Here's the map. There's the information about the state park and about the National Military Park. I'm going to do some future videos in the trails of the state park. There's a welcome center up there, so we're going to take a walk up there and see what kind of information they have about the park. Today I have some very special guests with me. As you know, usually I go on solo hikes, but today I have my two grandsons with me, Jensen and Jackson. So let me turn the camera around so I can introduce them. So today I have these two with me.
Hello.
That's Jackson waving his hand, and that's Jensen. You probably remember Jensen from the video that we did on Black Friday after Thanksgiving when my camera started to black out on me, and we're at the very end of that trail. I'm gonna leave that video up here, so if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video. We had a lot of fun. I also went with Jensen's dad, Jake, and we had a lot of fun that day. So we're gonna walk up here to the visitor center and see what we find. Coming up to the visitor center, they're closed today. They're only open Wednesday through Sunday at 9 o'clock. Park grounds are open from 9 to 5. They actually have bathrooms here. They're unlocked today. I guess the men's room's on the other side. They do have bathrooms. So we're going to, they have an amphitheater out here. Let's walk down here. I see a sign. They have the hiking trail. They have the battlefield trail. Let me look it up on all trails and see which way we're going to go. According to all trails, we're going to stay on the battlefield trail. There's also hiking trails out here. I saw a couple of different trails on the map, but we're just going to start going up the path here. There's a monument up here. There was a grave site also. All right, I did download the All Trails map. We're just going to stay on the asphalt today. Let me give you some information about the Battle of Kings Mountain. The battle was on October 7th in 1780. It was during the American Revolutionary War. The battle took place in Cherokee County, South Carolina, on this very mountain that we're on now. Let me get back to you in a second about that historical. Here's a picture of the map. Here's a picture of the map. Here's some information down here about the different trails that are around here. I've been to Browns Mountain. I've been to Lake Crawford. I just haven't videoed any of those. There will be future videos. Like I was saying, the battle happened right here on this mountain. I'll leave some links down in the description of some websites that give you the information about the battle. This victory led to the British commander Cornwallis surrendering at Yorktown in 1781. The battle was between American loyalists and American patriots. The loyalists were the ones that were loyal to the English crown, and of course the patriots were the ones that were Americans. This was one of the only battles that was not fought by any British soldiers. And this battle was kind of unique because the Loyalist troops were using mostly muskets, and the Patriots were using rifles. Now, rifles were very accurate, but it took them longer to load. But they could fire 200 to 300 yards. Muskets, what a lot of the Loyalists were using, were they could reload them like 3 times per minute, and they could only fire about 100 yards. So the rifles, they could fire further back. In the video that I did along Welch Lake, I talked about the trails that run through these mountains in North and South Carolina and also in Georgia. But I also talked about Major Patrick Ferguson. He was a Scottish soldier, and he was with General Cornwallis, and his job was to recruit Loyalists to help fight in the battle. All right, coming up to a sign, and it's got some information on it, but let me zoom in on this. It's a statement by one of the South Carolina Loyalists. Kings Mountain would have enabled us to oppose a superior force with advantage had it not been for covered with wood, which sheltered the Americans and enabled them to fight in their favorite manner. Plus, they also had the rifles that they could fire from 200 to 300 yards out, so they didn't have to get as close. Because when you fire the musket and you're more than 100 yards out, it's not very accurate. Now, I was talking about Major Patrick Ferguson. He was born in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, on May 25th, 1744. Hold on a second. I wrote down how old he was. I think he was like 34 or 35 years old. Let me look this up. He was actually 37 years old when he died. He was shot all on his horse. Fell off the horse and his foot got caught in a stirrup, and he was drugged by his horse. And he was actually shot by the Patriots as he fired upon them. He was buried in an unmarked grave, but they do have a marker. They do have a monument out here for his grave, and we're going to come to that monument. Right here, this is the old colonial road. They've repaved all this out here, but this was an old road. And of course, you can see it leads all the way just back down there. There's a lot of old abandoned roads out here, a lot of old farm roads. Like I said, there's a bunch of old farm roads, a bunch of old logging roads out here, but most of them are pretty much gone. But the thing about the Battle of Kings Mountain, it actually was one of the turning points of the Revolutionary War. It gave, like I said, the battle was a turning point for the American Revolutionary War. It gave everybody the morale and the boost to know that they could defeat a big British army. So Jensen found a monument or a marker up here, so we're going to come up here and look at this marker. Look at these two. Always goofing around. Let's see what this marker has to say. Oh, there was another major up here, but he's not mentioned in the battle. So I don't know if he was a loyalist or a patriot. I'm going to have to look that up. So we're going to go back down to the trail, and there's actually another marker or monument over there. We're going to go look at that. All right, we come down to the bottom of that hill. There's another shot of that old road. Goes off that way. You can't really make too much out of it now, but that's where we were up there originally. But that's the old road. Can't even read this one, but these are grave markers. Looks like Major William lists a lot of names of the people that died in this place. It's hard to read it. And there's the actual, I guess, the original stone that was put up in place. Like I said, there's the old colonial road. You can't see much of it now, but it went off in that direction. So we're going to keep going this way. Continuing on up the trail. There's a lot of places to sit down out here. Here's another bench that we found. So you can hike the trail. It's got this is real, well, brand new asphalt out here. And so here's a bench. Looks like this bench is brand new. So you get tired, you can always sit down out here on the bench. We're gonna continue on. Found another bench. Someone decided he needed a break, even though this is a 1.5 mile hike. There's another sign with some information here. And look what we found in a tree. Right over here. We found somebody in a tree. Look at the size of that tree though.
I can see through the top.
Yeah, you can see out the top?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's keep on going. Oh, it's not that bad out here. Stop that. It's almost 50 degrees outside. It looked like it was going to rain. I didn't think we were going to be able to make this hike today because of the rain. But it's still cloudy. It started raining on us and then it stopped before we got here. I was actually working on editing one of my other videos that's going to be up before this one. It's where I went out to Paris Mountain. There's some pretty cool waterfalls and an old electrical station at the waterfall where they used to make the electricity. That's a pretty cool mountain too. But if you want to see one that where I got lost, and I had a lot of all trails maps, and I really didn't get lost. I got off the trail and had to get back on the trail. That was the one I just did at Croft Mountain. So go check out that one. And that was a pretty difficult trail because of all the trees that were down. We're just going to continue on. It's supposed to be a big monument out here somewhere. It's been years since I've been here. Coming up to another sign. I'm trying to focus on this. If you see, this is the actual battle. You see that Tennessee militia, Virginia militia, North Carolina militia, they all surrounded the loyalists at the top of the mountain. And that's where the battle took place, at the very top. Now, if you look, this goes uphill. Can you imagine running all the way up to the top of that hill to fight an army up there of loyalists? You have no idea how big the army is. But as you can see, we're on top of the asphalt, but this goes down and it goes back up that way. A lot of these signs have stories from the soldiers that were out here, but they're hard to read. I'm gonna have to come back maybe before I get this video edited and maybe get the pamphlet or something that has the stories on them. Or maybe I could do a future video with more detail about the battle and some of the other battles that are around here. I'll give you another shot of how high this mountain is. It goes all the way up that way. So they fought that battle on top of that hill up there, or on top of the hilltop of the mountain. We're just winding around the mountain. I took a shot at the all trails, so I'll pop it up here and I'll show you how far we've gone. I did find the monument on the map. We're going to be coming up to it. I knew it was out here, but it's probably been over 15 years since the first time I walked this trail. coming up to another sign. It's going to give us more information about the battle. Isaac Shelby, a Tennessee Patriot leader, says, when you encounter the enemy, don't wait for the word of the command. Let each of you be your own officer and do the very best you can. If in the woods, shelter yourselves and give them Indian play. Advance from tree to tree and killing and disabling all you can. I don't know if you could see that, but I'm going to go ahead and read this. Although their tiny farms were far away, seemingly deep in the mountain strongholds, these Whigs took seriously Major Ferguson's threat to cross their mountains and hang their leaders and lay waste to their country with fire and sword, enough to tramp over the Blue Ridge twice to stop him. In one of the articles I was reading, it said that one of the reasons that they stopped fighting was because their leader, their commanding officer, Major Ferguson, was killed in the battle. So that was what the whole statement was about. Was be your own officer, fight your battles. You know how to fight and win a battle. Hide behind the trees, and that's the greatest advantage that the Patriots had. Is they used that Indian warfare, and they were able to shoot a lot further out. We're going to be continuing on up the trail. Like I said, somewhere up here is a big monument. We'll find it. Yeah, we're about halfway. I've taken a couple screenshots from all trails to show you where we're at. I just took a picture or a screenshot of the all trails. It talks about there's a Hoover monument up here too. I don't remember that monument from last time, but it's up here on the trail. We're going to go up the trail. Once we find that monument, we'll get some video and some pictures of it. We found a Hoover monument, but they've closed the trail. You can see the monument from the main trail. I don't see any reason why the trail is still closed. So we're going to continue on, and we're going to come up to that other monument that's up here. We're climbing to the top of the hill, actually to the top of this mountain. I can see the monument off in the distance, but it's almost straight up. I don't know if you can see the elevation climb in the video. We're going to get all the way to the top, and we're going to go look at that monument. Yeah, Jackson's pointing out the monument at the top of the hill. Let's finish climbing this hill. I'm coming up to another sign, so we're going to read that sign. And I'll get back with you. We're almost to the top of the hill where the monument is at. We'll come up to another sign. And this is some information about Colonel Campbell's militia. Says personal leadership proved crucial here. Colonel Campbell made time to visit every corps while marching to Kings Mountain. Face to face, he had urged each man to do his duty, and his own Virginians suffered the most casualties of any Patriot corps. These men marched the most miles into the fight, although their homes in Virginia mountains were far removed from the great plantations of the Tidewater. This regiment did include African Americans, 3 men of color, and a colonel's servant, John Brody. That's pretty cool. The Virginians were so far away that they had to cross the Blue Ridge Mountains to get here to help fight against the Loyalists and the massive British army. We're going to finish walking up this hill to the monument. I'll get back with you. We're walking up to where the monument is. We'll get a close-up shot of that monument. But I don't know if this is going to show up on camera or not. But we're on the top of the very hilltop of this mountain, and it goes straight down. The Loyalists had no chance against the rifles that were shooting 200 to 300 yards up this hill. And you know that these people lived in these mountainous area. They could shoot because they had to hunt for their food. So, and muskets can only shoot about 100 yards. So they were able to stand down 300 yards and shoot to the top of this hill. But they ran up here thinking they were going to get the high ground and have the advantage. And it didn't work. Let me get a shot of the backside over here, how high this hilltop is on top of the mountain. This thing goes straight down. Straight down. I know it probably doesn't pick up very good on the camera. But this is where the battle was fought. And let me get a picture of this, get a video here. Might have to get up there so we could get a better view of that. Here's the monument. It's kind of hard to read, but on each side it tells the information about the battle. I'm just going to have to come back up here when the office is open one day. Yeah, I think they need to get out here and clean this marble slab off so you can actually read it. I don't know if you can read any of that in the video. Some of it's pretty hard to read. Tide of the battle turned in favor of the American colonials. American colonies, it says. It's kind of hard to read. And then around this side is one more. Gives you information about Campbell, Shelby, which we had a town of Shelby. Williams, Cleveland, which were, you know, Shelby's in Cleveland County. And Sevier. They have Sevierville out in Tennessee, and they had Tennessee militia come out here to fight in the battle. It says, heroic followers from Virginia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee. I'll see if I can get that where we can read it better. We're going to continue on. We're almost done with the trail. Let me take a screenshot of the all trails. Well, Jensen's found another marker up here. So we're going to come up here. And this is Colonel Ashbury Coward, soldier, patriot, educator. Let me read this. I got to get a little bit closer. It's hard to see it. It was just too hard to even read by getting really close to it. But they have a lot of markers out here and a lot of information. There's some information also about the battle itself. Or about the war itself. Coming up to another sign right here. This is the sign, the Loyal Carolina Men. It gives information. I guess these are the different troops that were out here. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but I'll leave it up long enough. Maybe you can read it. So a lot of information on these signs. Like I said, last time I was out here, these signs were not here. Tells a little story about the battle itself. It's going to start raining pretty soon, so we just need to get out of here. I'm just going to have to come back while I'm editing this video and try to get some more information. Coming up to another marker or a sign. There's another monument up here. It looks like the placards on this other monument we can actually read. It's up there in the distance. We'll get to it in a minute. This is something called Caught in the Crossfire. Maybe I can lead this up long enough where you can read it, because there's a lot of stuff here. One-third of the British Army. Tents, weapons for thousands of men, cattle, horses, and 19 large baggage wagons. They had a lot. They had all that money in the backing by the crown. So we're gonna go on down here. When I get closer to this this monument, we'll get some video and take some pictures. I took some pictures of the signs, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them up here so you'll be able to read them a little bit better than trying to read them with my hand and holding on to the camera. It's not as sturdy. So I'll go ahead and put them in the video. We're just gonna head down the trail. Jensen's up there taking pictures already. Might have to get some pictures from Jensen to put them in the video.
It looks like the Washington Monument.
Yeah, it does look like the Washington Monument, doesn't it?
It looks so tall.
It's really tall, isn't it? Hey, Jensen, he looks like a little tiny one. He's a midget standing next to that monument. All right, let's get a little bit closer. That thing is tall.
Look how tiny I am.
We're gonna get a little bit closer and show you this sign. But this thing is massive. Here, of course, there's 4 sides. I'll get pictures of these and I'll put them up in the video so you can actually read what it says. It's kind of hard to get it in there like this. Like I said, I will take pictures of these placards on the side. I did take pictures. I'm gonna put them up in this video as well, so you can read what was on the side of those placards. Here's another marker right here. I'm not sure if these are actual gravestones or just markers for people that fought in a battle. Let's see what this one has to say. Lieutenant Colonel James Hawthorne, commander of the Colonial William Hill's Regiment, York County troops in the Battle of Kings Mountain, 7 October 1780. Colonel Hill, having been disabled by wounds received in a former wounds that he received in a former engagement, erected by Kings Mountain Charities, Daughters of the American Revolution, York, South Carolina, 1949. Lieutenant Colonel James Hawthorne. That's pretty cool. So maybe it wasn't a marker where he died, but it was a marker about him being in the battle. Well, we're going downhill now. As I can show you that we're at the very top. So we're going downhill now. All right, we're coming up to a couple other monuments up here. We're trying to get this done before it starts to rain on us. All right, so here's a marker. Could be a grave marker. Let's see what it has to say. And Jackson's found another marker down there. We'll go look at that one. This says, it's kind of hard to see, but it says, here, Colonel Ferguson fell October 7th, 1780. It's hard to see on the camera. I'll get a picture of it. Let's go look at this this other one that Jackson found. See, I knew there was a stone or a grave site or a marker for Ferguson. Now, he was shot off of his horse, and his horse drug him down the hill, and they ended up shooting him when he fired upon them.
This tablet marks where the spot where Cole Frederick Hambright was found.
Was wounded. It was Colonel Frederick Hambright. He was wounded in this spot. So All right, let's head back up. We're gonna go down the trail some more. We're almost back to the car. Like I said, this is a 1.5 mile trail. It's real easy. It's a lot of information out here. We're going to be going downhill a little ways, and then the car's just right down this hill and back up the other little hill. We'll be right back at the car.
Caution, do not run.
Yeah, do not run down the hill. Jensen said this marker down here is about Ferguson. This might be his actual grave spot. Is that what it says, Jensen? Hold on, I'll get up there. You can read it.
It says, to the memory of Colonel Patrick Ferguson,
71st Regiment, Highland Light Infantry. Remember? Yeah. Aberdeenshire, Scotland in 1744. Was killed the day of October 7th. While in command of the British troops, which were loyalists. There wasn't actually any British troops up here. In the memory of, from the citizens of the United States of America, and a token to their appreciation to the bond of friendship and peace between them and the citizens of the British Empire, erected in October 7th, 1930. There's a pile of rocks here, so I'm not sure if this is representing his grave or if this is his actual grave, but there's several markers out here, so we're not sure where his actual grave is. So we're going to head up that way and go towards the car. Well, we finished the hike today on the trail. So thank you for coming along with me on this adventure. I try to give you as much information as possible about the Battle of Kings Mountain. Had fun hanging out with my grandsons. There's one right there. Jensen's up there. So thank you for coming along with us today. If you like these videos, help me grow this channel. Like, subscribe, share the channel. So get out of the city, get out here on these trails and these parks, and do some hiking. It's really good exercise. It's good for relaxation. So remember, lace up those boots. You're only one step away from your next adventure. Get out there hiking, and I'll see you in our next video.